Hey guys, what's up? Toodaloo! Welcome in for those of you that are new, for those of you that are family, friends, spectators, welcome in. My name is Casey. I am the Guardian Oracle 33. Welcome to my neck of the woods, if you will. We're just lighting some sage here, gonna cleanse out this space with intentions. Surprise! I'm going live. Hopefully your guys' notifications are on and you didn't get unsubscribed. If you guys feel like you've been missing notifications, please go under the bell icon and make sure you are subscribed to all. And that you're still subscribed. Hey! I'm here in Idaho bringing messages. I am a channeled intuitive messenger. Messenger? Have I said that before? That feels a little odd. I'm a messenger. That's me. This is going to be a collective read. The sage had a bunch of lilac and amethyst around it, so it's taking forever to light. Welcome in, guys. Holy Spirit, holy angels of the highest bright light, I call on you now. I cleanse this space. Archangel Michael, I ask that you would guard the gates as I channel these messages. Ascended Masters, benevolent beings of the light, thank you for coming in. Lord Farquaad is what I heard right now. Lord Farquaad. What's up, Jace? Hello, Mom. Hi, Jace. I'm surprising everybody. Surprise! The wheels in the sky keep on turning. Alright, we got a little bit of sage going. You know, one thing you can always count on Idaho for is one hell of a breeze. You know, until you want a breeze, and then there's no breeze. No, not really. So we're gonna do a collective read, see what's going on. What do we need to know? Who's coming towards us? Our spirit guides messages. If you're on a path to self-awareness, higher elevated states of consciousness, clearing old energies, healing, transmuting. If you're just interested in why you've always been a little different, this might be your channel. Welcome in. Hello. Nice dress. Thank you. Banana. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. This shit is bananas. I'm adjusting, you guys. How does it feel? How do you feel, darling? Better. Yeah, I like it. Feels better. Now I can see you. I want to know if I'm gay. I can't. That's a you thing. What kind of gay are we talking about? Happy? Alright. Rockin' Divine Light, beloved. What's up? Alright, overall energy. Holy Spirit, holy angels. What is going on in the collective energy? Thank you guys for tuning in. Hitting the like button, the subscribe button. Leaving your girl a comment. If you like the vibe, subscribe. I'm doing one of those moments where I'm looking at my hair and I'm like, is it short? This feels kind of weird. Hot. Hello, darling. It's been a long time. Has it? Has it been a long time? For what? What are we talking about here, sir? Do you like my hair? Thank you. They're my antennas. Come in over. One's always a little more fucked up than the other one, and I never understood that. It's like me trying to meld with my higher self. I'm like, you got it, you don't. And you're in, you're not. You know, you ever just not been able to... We connect. It's, you know, if I was driving a spacecraft and I was going to be the guy to dock it at the port, is that what you call? I don't know the space terms here, you know. I would use my telekinesis. No, we might have a few bumps and scratches on that side. I'm just saying. How was anybody even back there and we're in fucking space? Yeah, you totally swiped him back there. I'm like, oh shit. Is your spacecraft okay? Hola, Isaac. How's it going? Collective energy. At the core, what does the collective need to know at this time? Holy Spirit, holy angels, channeled messages, divine beings of light. I'm hearing the name Jason. I'm hearing the name Matt. Sabrina. Aztec. New World Order. Germanic. Mystical. Germanic ancestry. Ooh. They're showing me somebody who's lost like touch with their whole ancestry, or a certain parent, your parent, at some point derived from a very specific prominent genotype of genetics. So there's really showing me Italians at this point. So I'm like, ooh, when the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on 1654, and you're in. What's up, guys? Opportune time. Opportune time. We're smoking back here. That sage is finally starting to take off. Jason, I love you. Thank you. I'm pinning it. Thank you for always being such an amazing mod. What's up, Greg? What's up, Ken? Alright, what's coming your way? What's coming the way for the collective? How's the collective feeling at this time? Overall energy. Shuffle. Ooh! Talking about the lights going down in the city and the sun shining on your face. That somebody had an all night with somebody. To the wee hours of the morning, perhaps. Somebody's sneaking around here. Let's see. Collective energy. Woo! 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords. And I'm seeing, ooh. You might be dealing with some sort of abuse of technology for some of you there. Your faith could be some sort of occultic. Hangman's in reverse. Collective is undoubtedly, that's so interesting. I almost went to switch my hands that I shuffle with, and it felt so natural, like I've always shuffled like that. Left, right, no right to left. Is this fucking plumbing? Is this metric? Can somebody help me out here? Everybody knows in plumbing it's right to left, motherfuckers. What's up, Ken? What's coming Ken's way? Woo! Ken, you got a heartbreaker coming your way. 3 of Swords. Either somebody who's been pretty wounded but still sees your ass says, or somebody who, you know, to have a cup of love. I mean, I'd have to say this is somebody who probably might be pretty enlightened, an action-oriented person, perhaps. I think somebody here thinks about sex or sexy, you know, the Hermit. Maybe, I don't know. I would say something coming your way would be either somebody who is wounded or you have had some sort of heartache with. But nonetheless, it looks like this person has deep feelings for you. And when I say deep, it's like maybe they're new and profound. Maybe drugs, sex, alcohol in some ways with the devil at the bottom of the deck got in between you guys, you know? I don't know. I would say you'd have somebody who's very, I don't know, I don't think they mean to be, but I think they're very seductive in their own nature. Just the way they've seen him, this air of independence. That's that bad boy. Split it on the devil again. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But a little bit of Jesus. That's what I heard. Maybe a lot of bit of Jesus. A devil again! Watch your back, man. No, I'm just joking. We're not talking about that here. I would say you actually looks like you have somebody who's going to bring equal give and take, or there's going to be a balance restored in some way. Balance within the home. If you're waiting on a home situation, can't help but the 3 of Swords came out again talking about a heartbreak. So, you know, what's the advice on that, Holy Spirit? A truth. A truth will set this free. Whoever's truth, your truth or their truth. That's a real thing, right? And a new beginning. So the new beginning begins after the truth. What's at the new beginning? Some sort of spiritual... Oh, the Lovers is behind there. I feel like this could be a spiritual connection in some way. Somebody here is very enlightened. you know, somebody here in this situation has the ability, or it's you, making a decision about spirituality, speaking your truth, to have this new beginning. Maybe you always were kind of, I don't know, just a lot of young energy. Or that's what I would say for you. Your advice would be to keep cultivating the seeds, planting good seeds here, because I feel like you're about to see a return. Why can't I see my wanking messages? Welcome. All right. Collective message. What does the collective need to know from spirit guides? What does the collective need to know from spirit guides right now? The Isle of Avalon. I'm hearing the Prince of War. And they're showing me like Korean, maybe it's Japanese, like some sort of orientation within that. It's like a Kung Fu Panda. It's not. It's Kung Fu, like martial arts. Very trained. Ninja is what they're showing me. What does the collective need to... What do we need to know right now? I told you, like a ninja. Ooh. Do you have an arch nemesis, a friend? Maybe that identifies and you guys are like the same. Maybe you guys butt heads and then you realize, like, I don't even know. You're too much alike in some ways, you know? Temperance, yeah. There's some sort of battle. You know, it's like... We fight for the same side, but we're just fight in different ways, perhaps. You know what I mean? In the way that we live or whatever way. I'm hearing vigilantes. See, I talk about fighting, arguing, being, you know, it's like definitely going through it, setting up some new boundaries and principles, really staying dedicated to frequency and waves here comes out quite a bit. Look at the colors here. Light therapy. The rainbows, the colors of the rainbows. What's temperancing here? The Hangman and Rebirth. There has been a moment that somebody has woken up to. It's like, is fighting you worth... Ah, why is my face itching? What do you want me to see? Companionship. Okay, in the occult faith. Enlightenment here is like, I want to tell you something on the deepest level, but I'm so afraid you're going to freak the fuck out. That, you know what I mean? That's what I'm afraid that there's some sort of whoa, easy now. There's fuckers smoked out. Alright. You know, maybe there's a essence of clearing old energies, and maybe that's what the temperance here is about. Temperance is, you know, a lot of times to me it's representative of a healing card. It's like, you ever just love somebody, but just the way that they idolize, the way that they, it's just two different opponents, right? You both get the job done the same. Absolutely. It's like, and if you guys would actually be friends or in whatever way, shit gets done a lot easier, but there's this unsaid, like, competition. You know, that's what this is. There's competition around something here, and it's like, this is kind of interesting. So tell me about that. I'm seeing the Ten of Cups. The Star. I talked about the healing and the Hermit. He says you didn't talk about me, babe. Alright, Hermit, settle down. Settle down. He's like, I haven't been out of the bathroom in 2 hours. What are you doing in there? 2 whole hours. And he's like, I'm hermiting. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I think that's an excessive amount of time to be hermiting in the bathroom of all places. Do you know what kind of diseases are in those things? Alright. The devil lands in my lap. Oh! So I almost feel like there's this energy of, you know, lower vibrational frequencies giving you a heads up in some way. 3 of Swords. Dude, you can't make this up. And this actually just came out for Ken. Stay out of my lap, devil. You ain't eating nothing over here. Really reiterating maybe that there's some sort of error. Seeing it's an anxiety and fear. Maybe you're battling some sort of anxiety and depression. This really could have to do, like, wow, enlightenment to how far you've been hurt or how deep the wound or the pain really has been. You know, it seems like there could be some sort of inability to face things, asking for help. let's just say, the inability to cope or to face fear. And it has to do with within the psyche, it feels like. You know, that's something that always gets you time and time again, is the psyche, the battle of the psyche. The Hermit. What are you battling at this point? What's going on? It's like somebody here has a very great indication of where they want to go, or whether this is releasing something and moving past something in a way. Let go of the negative people and the toxic beliefs. Your time on earth is precious. Invest it wisely and be mindful of who you spend time with. And that's over here by the Devil and the Three of Swords. And something that stresses you out, collective, like, is this something that's going on within your situation? Because I do feel like there is, there's something you'll be celebrating if you're not already. Something that you're reluctant to let go of. Take a deliberate pause and cultivate the stillness. Wait for the inspiration. Boy, that devil's just an eyeball, and look at him. He is not a happy camper over here with the Three Swords. Then I'm seeing like a deep unhappiness within somebody's own being. So what is this about? What's the obstacle in this situation? Collective, you're getting enlightenment on something that has opposed you. See what I'm saying? It's like there's deliberation here, and I wonder. I am looking here. There's military and official, and melding with a higher self through forgiveness. You know, I see death, loss, and a heartbreak out here. Also, deep concerns with children play, and perhaps mental illness suffering. What's the Devil and the Three of Swords out here for, Holy Spirit? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. My dog, you'll have to forgive a dog I know. He's chewed some of my cards. What's the Devil out here for? There's a heart chakra awakening. You know, and I feel like, because even look at this person, there's two people here pondering about the past, about a specific situation, something that brings opportunities, choices, but yet there's a deep sense of letting go. I looked out here and there's talking about forging a new path, forging a new way perhaps. I don't know if you suffered some sort of, whatever you lost in the physical, you know, it feels like you were looked at with the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups as somebody who's very emotionally intelligent, somebody who's very tuned into the people within the room, or is able to address inner emotional feelings about your own self on a very soulful, honest, level within your own being. And I think that there's many people that have experienced your period of reflection in the way that you've moved through things. Maybe perhaps you once were labeled as somebody with a mental illness. Maybe this is something that was claimed for you as a child, or something that's been projected onto you. When you make a new choices, you create new results. Let go of old patterns and embrace the power of possibility. You are fully supported here. All right. What's the regret about here? There is. I wonder if this isn't two people who are, because both of them are sitting here staring at the possibilities, the options. And it's talking about forging a new path and some sort of competitive energy being around this. But your spirit guides are showing up here saying you are fully supported within this endeavor. Fully supported. So what's the opposition here at this space and time? Anybody else ever feel like you can feel people touch you? What's this? 5 of Cups, 7 of Cups. What are we looking at? Oh, somebody, maybe it is children, because I've seen children and family. Maybe that's something here that the wounding is around. The Ace of Cups is a person's ultimate soul wish fulfillment. That aspect. Ten of Cups down here as I look at it. The swan love. And I'm seeing judgment. I've seen forgiveness earlier here. This really feels like if you're a parent and you've been combating, like old ways of being, old ways of thinking, and you're trying to become enlightened around a past event, that has led you to this place of forging a new path, to make choices from a conscious state of, really checking in with your heart, checking in with yourself. Observe your own behaviors. We get in that state sometimes, with the judgment card out here is where we can be pretty judgmental sometimes. Spirit guides are just asking to check on that. There's a deep healing here, and I feel like when somebody feels like they're going to be abandoned or left out, or they get those feelings and sensations, that heaviness, they do this thing where they'll abandon a very prominent position within their own energetic field, for one, because you're no longer staying grounded. When that fear comes in and you're like, oh motherfucker, you can't, you're like, fuck this, I got to, I have no choice but to. Facing fears in that way. You're the only person that has your back at the end of the day. You are your truest friend you'll ever have. People say, oh, we teach people how to treat us. I would say that everybody becomes a teacher and a student at some point. This is what I'm talking about here. This is somebody who's been a student for a long time. This is somebody who, I'm talking to, has done the gamut, and it's like maybe you've been tested with the latest things that would normally, put you back in a space, right? Fear, anxiety, stress, and maybe you're looking at ways to resolve this. Maybe you have found something that makes you feel good, or that's bringing, awareness and intuitive, energetic feelings into your entire being. Meaning, maybe you just ponder off sometimes and you start thinking about something. And it's like maybe your mind's always drawn back to a specific person, and there I see the fear and anxiety. Temperance comes out again here, talking about trust that there's going to be balance and peace. What you do in the moment really deciphers a lot of things. There's some sort of looking back into the past here, and I don't know if it has to do with, because I want to say, for those of you that this has resonated with this far, there is a very deep soul resonance with another person that's absolutely undeniable for you. And I think that you feel very you have a lot of compassion for their intelligence, their emotional intelligence, and maybe as of late in some ways with the Queen of Cups out here, Temperance, and the card of getting rest. Maybe things aren't as bad as you make them out to be. Maybe you're reliving old moments and time lapses of things that have happened in the past, yet, doing things a specific way, and maybe as of late you're trying to see that in the reflection, in some way. The Devil comes out again. Talking about having an addictive personality. That is something that your spirit guides are trying to help you work on, or to become, less self-indulgent, I'm hearing. If you're not working, that you have a really hard time staying focused. Maybe some, porn addiction and shit like that is a real thing. It's not so much the thing, but it's the seduction. It's the energy that somebody here craves. The Queen of Swords comes out. That's honest, truthful communication. The way that somebody speaks here. There's a lot of intellect behind a lot of sexual passion that I'm feeling right now. Maybe this does have somebody feeling very introspective at the moment, and even kind of checking their own feelings for the first time. Maybe you're not somebody that always is like, how do I feel about this person exactly? And you're like, maybe you're somebody who lets things play out, and then maybe at some moment, oh my gosh, all my cards flew off. I'm crying, Kay. Maybe at some moment you've started to think like, Ace of Swords again. There's a deep conversation intellectually or spiritually. I want to say, like, for some of you, those of you that do, are very connected on an energetic field. Hey, settle down, Lynn. That's why I didn't read outside. I was going to go outside. maybe somebody has a mental illness here too that keeps them from going outside in some ways, and if they go outside it feels like a chore. You know, maybe there's addictions behind that in whatever way. You know, and I think that there's action being taken on the behalf of, you know, somebody is in deep regrets for things that they do, things that they say, things that they hide. You know, there's somebody here is feeling just kind of like, wow, I really gave the greater hand over to the lower shadow aspect of myself for whatever reason, and maybe it's because you are not able at this time to control a specific situation, and that does very much happen. You know, that's what triggers us into have an awakening in the first place. There's nothing wrong with that. You're learning yourself. You know, you don't owe anybody anything. You owe it to yourself to be a true person to your own nature. You know, action here, lots of action here, and I feel like this with the wands, I don't know if you make love to somebody and why you're making love to them, or when you do, it's like maybe it brings you back to, it's just, maybe it's just different, you know what I mean? You can't mistake a heartbreak versus, you know, okay, so somebody, they're like, yeah, that somebody wants to have come back. I heard SEX word, but then I heard the, alright. Best overall outcome in the situation. What's your advice? You could be having a new beginning now. Boy, I can't get away from this self-evaluation. I want to say, you know, your thoughts are very powerful. The way that you think about yourself, the way that you feel about yourself, you're putting that energy out into the universe, saying, yeah, I'd like more of this energy. I would like to experience more of this. For those of you who are having an affair in some way, I just want to say there's heartbreak that comes from that. You know, I want to say there's a very wise person behind the scenes that knows things. If somebody's not going to somebody for another reader, you know. Alright, that's what I have on that. I keep hearing Castle Ford in my head. Alright. Everybody have a good weekend. William, hi. What's up? That Five of Wands has been like haunting this table for how long now? You know, there really is somebody that's just a steady watcher. Maybe somebody that's even has some sort of infatuation in some way. Yeah, it's like, it's go time, motherfucker, I heard. You know, this person could be the person that brings you money in some ways. You know, and this person's wanting you to make a choice here about maybe a few new beginnings. I want to say, don't dictate my life in the way that I'm moving it in my own way. I'm becoming awakened to my own afflictions, my own self, you know. There could be a lot here around the ending of cycles, just like, oh, the person that I used to know would put up with that shit, and you're like, no, not today, motherfucker. Today my cup is self-full. Today's my love day. Today's about me. Today's the day that I show up. You know, ancestors are very prominent here as far as, you have to remember, if you do believe in time travel, if you will, right? Or if you just believe akashically or spiritually that you have a long line of ancestors and you're here for a reason. You know, this kind of is what keeps somebody going. I think somebody's on a deep evaluation within their self of the very, here's the Hermit again, twice. Yeah, somebody found a book, somebody found something that they're moving forward on. There's a new beginning here. I think if somebody was like a very excessive drinker here, somebody's going to, and I'm seeing the law behind that. You know, look at that, justice. There's some sort of magic that happened to put you on the path that you needed. Understanding that all things truly are connected, spirit guides are saying here. You know, whimsical power, I'm hearing. Alright. Is this even resonating? Am I connecting with any of you guys? choices and work. It's like working on letting go of the outcome of a lot of the things that fear you the most. I want to get some spirit guides messages out here. Herman, Michael, Dexter, Mr. Dexter, Jace. Alright, I don't want to go to that deck. Yak. Resonates? Okay, thank you. I've got to resonate, eh? I love it when it resonates. It has been really there for a while. It felt like it was getting to be fall. Today's been, I mean, it's asshole dry and hot as fuck, but nonetheless, ain't no fires. We've been productive. There's a lot of wonderful things that are happening amongst the collective as far as energies of moving and being supported in certain offices that perhaps you didn't think you were supported in. Realizing, understanding, you know, the sows that you seed, the seeds that you sow, are making an impact now. You know, automatic writing, tea leaf writings. You know, and somebody who divinates through cards could be something that is one of your highly gifted. I am looking at the cult and faith. Somebody here who's, I heard addicted to the cult and the faith. All right, there's enlightenment that comes out here. Ganesh, embrace and relaxation. All right, spiritually gifted. There's revelations that are coming here. Deep insights out here too. When you got insights, my gosh, and revelation at the same time, they're talking about being able to embrace. I feel like somebody's going to be very emotional about some sort of upcoming change that is going on. When you give yourself freely, you expand your energy. If you only give to get, it will feel like a burden or a drain. Being genuine, give from your heart. Give from your heart. And you know what I was feeling right there? That's what I was saying is like being genuine to your own spirit. You know, choosing the seeds that you sow are very important. There's seeding water out here, you know, and to grow something, it does take water. It does take emotions, and to feel emotions and to go into the psyche and understand how that creates an imprint on the, you know, physiological brain, if you will, the way that it affects our other systems, you know, the nervous system, cardiovascular system. Our brain is it's a computer itself. We're ingesting all this stuff all the time, you know. We can tell ourselves a lot of things, you know, when we get back to the basics of spending time in nature, and you just kind of first 3 days, you know, your brain just kind of keeps going until you kind of run out of thoughts. You're like, okay, well, what would I do? You know, when you have sustainable energy and you're starting to create and cultivate new ideas and ways of being not just for yourself but for others. Just talking about your decisions. The decisions that you've made as of late, for some of you, are going to bring deep revelations here. You know, there is a sacred site perhaps that you go back to spiritually or within a process of death. You know, I think somebody here is tied to Atlantis with the sea creatures out here and looking at the earth. You know, I talked about planting seeds. Look at these seeds growing here. Beautiful seeds that have grown. You know, especially if you're planting seeds in a place perhaps people don't want you to plant them at, right? Now you're a fugitive. Now you're planting good seeds on the soil. Talking to crystalline grid children, you know, indigos, those with deep foresight, very awakened masters, benevolent beings here. You know, having openness helps. Talking about vivid dreams, working with star family on ships comes out. You know, jump into life with strength. Be led by spirit guides. And then if you're asking a question right now, yes comes up. There could be something here behind an illness. And I see misused power with alcohol behind that. As well as we are all truly one. Soul contract out here taking the top. Mental illness again. Children in play and death, loss, and heartbreak. Somebody's being warned here. I heard don't do it. Don't do it. creativity is key. Somebody's going to make I heard a lasting impression, but it's like their last mistake. You know, don't get in too deep, you know, especially if somebody here is doing that through astral projection. February 11th, you know, they're saying it's somebody's D-Day. Envy and pain that comes out. And I don't like talking about stuff like that. You know, you're definitely being led by spirit. This could just be an intuitive message, something that you've thought about with your guides that brings through some sort of inclination. You know, this is a sign from my guides. Show me, God, that you're there. Universe, how I'm working with you. Give me a sign of synchronicity through somebody I may meet. Watch, learn, ask a question now. Everything is happening in real time. You know, I'm also seeing somebody who suffered earthly disaster here. Whether this was a collapse of a building, an earthquake, some sort of tragedy. If you're worried about your house, they're talking about your house being rebuilt. You know, this could have really being in that place. You know, somebody here's an herbalist and they bring magic to the world through that. It's because you harvest it with love. You maybe we didn't have medicines or you had to find ways. Somebody here's very good with plants or will be. There's seeds that are growing here. They're talking about the Viking Age, Crusades, and Inquisition. The lesson here is about power and accountability. You know, there's death here to somebody who has a broken heart and somebody who had hypothermia. I feel like you could have been with somebody who could definitely be, you know, very much, you both have very strong qualities, but in some way it's like, you know, there's too many chiefs in a way is what I'm hearing. We're talking about the location of the stars here. There's somebody here who is an abused enabler in some way, you know, somebody who really puts their fist down. Maybe somebody's like, it's going to be my way or the highway. And the universe, however the fuck you put your fist out, is saying, you know, you could do this to your wife or vice versa. You know, somebody here could have outbursts from war or war age or wartime, PTSD, flashbacks. You know, there could be troublesome here around a birth. The Russia location, you know, a lesson that you could be going through right now is really talking about overcoming fears. The age of depravity, you know, maybe somebody here is switching their religious devotion. Somebody here is like almost takes it to an extreme point, you know, and that's the point of somebody's like, okay, maybe I will let go on a fear or faith or something that I thought before, a preconceived notion of how something should go, an expectation, if you will. You know, I am seeing that, you know, there is witnesses to some sort of murder that perhaps was actually a suicide that was a murder or vice versa here. Somebody here, their trauma is having a fucking super guilty conscience. You know, I think that this came about through some sort of forceful conversation. Prophecy and gifts is a lesson here to trust your gut. You know, music could play a role, specifically the keyboard in somebody's instance. You know, somebody here who plays keyboard could have abandonment trauma. You know, this is somebody who is very secretive, somebody who has a secret agenda. You know, somebody could be suffering, a child here around some sort of destroyer, somebody who does a lot of money handling out here for a lot. Does feel like a deep-seated wound here. Above all would be definitely trauma. You know, maybe there's somebody here who's got trauma around drowning. You know, the divine light, having recognition of past lives, disasters they've been in and coming back to life or experiencing that through somebody else. I think somebody here, there's been this like war, very heavy poison, imprisonment, somebody who's been very gang stalked and somebody who's been very gone up against by a lot of people. It's like a time traveler without the consciousness. I feel like this is somebody who's been through lower class. There's famine out here, poverty. Somebody who has, you know, the reason this comes about is through somebody who's a destroyer, somebody who is very destructive, and somebody who is very into money handling or some sort of industry with betrayal out here and trying to take down somebody who's very profit-led. That felt like an entire mouthful. Alright, new spread, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, what do we need? Hi Herman, what's up? Thank you guys for watching. I've been combining a lot of my decks per, you know, my higher self and just kind of trying to switch some things up here. You know, spirit guides are saying it's time to act. You don't have to know everything in advance. Take the first step and watch it all unfold. You can deal with whatever your path reveals. Are you ready, your spirit guides are saying? You know, there's a lot about out here having the gift of clairvoyance. You know, somebody who is very connected to the sounds in their own head. The things that other people see, your mind's eye, you know, being able to decipher. It feels very akashically. Your spirit guides are saying clairvoyance. You are being called to explore what you see in your mind's eye. What is it? What does it sound like? How do you feel? Whether this is the past, present, or future, these mental impressions have much to share with you. We're talking about somebody, maybe you will be going to somebody who's some sort of on a retreat, or, you know, you're being called to explore hosting spiritual events and retreats to promote clarity and completeness. Whether this is just teaching others how to cleanse their energy, cleanse their house, and have some healthy food and get some people together. You could be dealing with people who are constantly at work all the time. They're a slave to work. Maybe this is somebody who's in some sort of leadership position. You know, you could be questioning your spirituality right now at this time too, on a very deep level. And it says a deeper world as I say that. Don't push or force your life in a specific way. Find balance even in the dark times. It will open your heart to the depth of compassion in everyday moments. So it feels like God's really saying, hey, you are complete. Talking to somebody who's been out here alone, somebody who's been traveling down a path trying to understand themselves on a deeper level. You are not broken. Nothing is wrong with you. Don't spend your life fixing problems. Dwell in the beauty of your being. You are enough, now and always. You know, so this is a very deep spiritual awakening that somebody's going through here, questioning a lot about their own beliefs, their gifts. I'm hearing actually formalities. That card before was talking about darkness, miracles in the darkness. In the darkest moments, it's easy to feel lost and alone. When you stay focused on the light, you'll receive blessings beyond your wildest dreams. Starlight, star seeds. Wild and wonderful. Why focus on limitations and realism? Breakthroughs and miracles require no linger expansion on explanation or method. Unexplainable and ideological magic happens every day. Don't slow down manifesting through hesitation or worry. Keep the faith and create light in the dark. The path of the stars is made by the same energy. Light in the dark. Alright, I will be back in a second. If you guys want to stick around, I'll see who's coming towards you in love. I'll take a look at your finances before I do that. Ditto. How's everybody doing tonight? What's up, guys? Hey, girlfriend. What's up, girl? So, family's up in here. What's up, Claire V? Alright, I'm going to give it 2 shimmies and a shake, and I will be right back. I'll probably go for about another 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to be starting dinner for my big kids. Alright, ready, set, go. Beautiful as always, girl. I just clean up good. These last couple days, they've been rough. We've been moving things and getting things into order. It's been hot, dry, dusty days. Drusty. You ever had a drusty dry balls? That's about the days that have been. I mean, if you even walk, what is that movie, Rango? When they're way out there and there ain't no water. I shall retoin. Dry balls, dry balls. Don't eat that. Why? I peed on. You're nasty. I look over my head. You are so gross. And I should let you eat it. I had them in my hand, but I was going to pee, and that one was the only one that got pee on it. I threw it on the ground. Are you almost done with that fence? Better get after it, boy. All right. Who's coming towards you in love? In the big LOVE. All right, the person coming towards you in love, their energy. How would you understand this person? This person's energy. This is somebody who is I heard a soul wanderer. This person could have a infatuation with butterflies or have some sort of butterfly tattoo. Looks like somebody here is very adventurous. You know, somebody is very much on the brink to, you know, them understanding there's some sort of original soul. So for them to let themselves know to follow their own heart. And I think that this is something that this person is very prominent in. And if you haven't seen it yet, it feels like when this person does start or moves in this direction, it's undeniable, I'm hearing. It's undeniable. Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, Archangel Michael. This person could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius here. All right. What's one of this person's? Let's see. Strongest qualities here. And I like this deck. You know, this person could hold some sort of, could be very good at forgiveness or very good at transforming through things that are difficult. I would say this person's quite the alchemist in whatever way, or is learning how to do that through some sort of transformational process that they're going through at this time. I do want to say that this person's very connected to those that have, those that are in death, some sort of medium, somebody who understands the other world, or is very much fixated on trying to understand. I heard, is that you, pups? Some sort of enlightenment that's here. Right below this it says, yes, trust your intuition. So that could just be a very special, specific message for somebody here. And somebody here is saying, I'm starting to understand our connection. I feel you even though we are apart. All right. Can you guys still hear me? All right, person coming towards you. This person could be celibate or asexual at this point. Let's see. Tell me about the person coming towards the collective or the person on the viewer's mind. King of Wands, that's interesting because over here I did see the King of Wands as well. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This could be somebody who is very much into creative endeavors. I said this is somebody who is very adventurous in some way. Maybe it's just their spirit or the way that they think. Maybe this person doesn't always speak up. Maybe this person would be better at writing letters or expressing themselves in some ways. Tell me more about this person. The Page of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. I do want to say that, you know, in whatever way this person has a way of observing you, whether this is energetically through space and time, astral travel, or just through social media, just through the workplace, when they look over at you, or when they think that you're not looking, but yet you can feel it because it's energy. What's this person's truest intentions towards you? Their truest feelings. What's their truest feelings? The Tower. This person wants to bring a sudden realization here. You know, maybe this person feels like you move really slow in your mind. You know what I mean? If you could just bypass some things, you'd be a lot faster or better at finances or seeding specific things here. This person is saying, you know, there's a level to you that's a little, you know, they want to show you the love that you give back out. This person definitely wants to show you some way of the love that you've given out, their truest feelings deep down. You know, this person would actually tell you that, you know, you've taught me how to actually find a version of myself that I once lost, a passionate side of myself, with the Tower and the Knight of Cups out here. Hey, you're a neutral. This is about, they want to bring in a shakeup, and it's like they want to show you something, the way you haven't been loved, or the way that you haven't had affection, in whatever way this is, whether this is like just them understanding you through a sense of emotional intelligence, or whatever it will be. Let's see. Temperance, the Lovers, and the Two of Cups. Alright, so I'm definitely going to say this person's intentions is to show you. I feel like somebody really knows the truth. There's the Falcon, which is a bird of messages out here, talking about, speaking about what they've been through, and expressing, you know, that money could be on the mind. You know, I wonder if somebody didn't marry for money, or in some way, you know, wasn't coaxed into something in some way here that's a sideline, or this has to do with somebody's baby's mom. You know, equally things being balanced with the Six of Pentacles. This is talking about the universe putting things into balance out here after, you know, there's been a lot of combat. Show me the past. You know, there could have been a lot of passion between you two. You could have been very much easily married to this person. I will say for some of you, you know, if people cards are people, there was a lot of people intermixed in a specific situation, or different types of archetypes that you could manifest within your own being to, I don't know, maybe it's just like I'm saying, like biting on the lips. It's kind of very kinky, fun, playful, you know, misbehaving moments, you know, like a husband and wife would, or you know, when your wife wears a dress, the first thing that you do is like, I wonder if there's, or, you know, the mind gets to wondering, and it's like an era of that kind of comes back through, bringing something back forward. This is this person's intentions to bring some youthfulness. Somebody definitely sees you as you are, and do have the ability to provide for them. It's just you. You know, this person can't help but watch you. This person actually celebrates your goodwill and the good tidings that come for you. What's up, Simon? I'm from Idaho. I am in Idaho. I'm originally from Nevada. Lived in Oregon and Washington a good majority of my life. You know, there is still an error of, you know, in the blockage point of somebody regretting something. Look, in both cards, there's regrets. Somebody holds deep regrets here. Although when somebody does watch you, what they feel is a very healing essence, or when they speak to you or think back to memories of you, you know, you bring out this very creative, passionate side within this person. How do you feel about this person? your truest feelings? Nine of Pentacles. You are actually quite well happy being on your own. You do feel self-full. You feel very elevated and motivated by attributes of your own self. New aspects of your own being. You know, maybe even if things have been hard, it's the one thing that kind of has brought in... You wouldn't be the same without it. You know, I would definitely say, you know, this person in some way has pushed you to move past this regretful nature, or you see this person as that. You know, somebody who just has a really hard time moving past the past for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. This could be a child's father, a business owner, somebody who is in a leadership role, or, you know, runs a household. What's your intentions with this person? The Fool. You want to show this person spiritual things. You want to show this person fun spiritual things. Things, a whole new world, right? Maybe you like psychedelics. Maybe that's something you enjoy doing, or that brings about a new conscious state of enlightenment. I'm not a doctor. I'm not condoning anything by any means. I'm not a physician. I'm a channeled reader, so in no way am I telling you to go do anything. You know, there's an ending to something here, and I wonder if it wasn't grief and something that death took away over time and the universe is bringing back to create some sort of very deep newness, a King of Cups, a very deep love, a purity, understanding of the life and death process and loving within those lines. You know, nobody said love was easy here. You've got judgment. It feels like you have angels and ascended masters that are helping you to find forgiveness in your own heart. Maybe weighing out the things that you've done in your life. You know, maybe it's not so much what other people's done, but the things that you've reacted to that, you know, you're looking at yourself for, that's kept you from loving yourself. You know, maybe if I wasn't so harsh, because good Lord knows that we've done our fair share, right? All right, guys. Love the hair. What's up, Puffin? Hey-ya. What's up? All right, let's look at money. How's money looking for the collective at this time? Holy Spirit, Holy Angels. Oh, somebody's starting something new they're a little nervous about. You know, maybe it's not the highest position that you once had. It's starting over again, but, you know, it's a good gateway. For some of you, I feel like you're going to meet somebody through your place of work or on some sort of adventure. Oh, you're having angelic help. Temperance, Ace of Cups, Nine of Pentacles. Something's coming through to be able... Six of Wands. You can't make this up with the Nine of Wands. Like, you will be triumphant for... it's not, I heard good deeds, but it really is just staying focused and dedicated, pushing through the lulls in life, you know, biding your way, doing a side job, and whatever it means, the Wheel of Fortune. Like, the universe has kind of had you sidetracked for a reason. I wonder why. Ten of Cups, because maybe this does have to do with somebody else who has some sort of regrets. You know, options around them, you know, but understands a deeper soul connection in some way that I want to forgive a situation so that I can move past. I want to say somebody here with King of Cups coming out again, King of Cups, in the Lovers, that there is somebody here who's having a deep revelation about a past life soulmate with the Six of Cups out here. And very much understanding, like, what the fuck did I do? I'm in my head, but may have a hard time letting go. There's a lot of choices here. What are you willing to let go of for the sake of love? Look, battling my whole fucking life. I would like some peace. I would like some solitude. This is somebody who shows up that you know, they might mirror you in some ways. You know, but you do see, even though you want to stay guarded to them, you know, maybe you're asking your spirit guides for questions. You know, show me if this person shows up. Give me a sign that this person really is real, that they do talk to angels. Look at all the wings out here. That they are connected to passed on loved ones in some way, or that this is you communicating to me. Maybe your job has something to do with that. Maybe this is where your revenue comes from. Finances. Let's look at finances for the collective. Ooh! Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. Hangman and the Ace of Pentacles. Holy shit. Somebody's having a complete turnaround here. And it has to do with some sort of passion. ignited, an energy that you're in. It's like, fuck it. Today I'm going to show up, and normally if I have a hard time asking, I'm just going to ask anyways. This could be a make it or break it, something that, you know, is very creative within you. Maybe you don't have the finances to do something right now, but there's an opportunity to receive the finances so that you can make something work. See the gates? Maybe somebody's gifted a home. Maybe it's an old ass home, but maybe it has great potential here for some of you. You know, maybe that is, you know, going to provide you the ability to come back into this loving state of yourself. You know, Queen of Pentacles, money is looking good over the next week. I would definitely say that haste is waste. Being frugal, understanding that not everybody has your best interest. With the devil out here, you know, there definitely is somebody who's obsessed with your energy and what you're doing, your happiness, see? Because I think somebody regrets truly something in the past. Maybe this had something to do with around a party or a party situation here, or something that had gone on. But this person really does understand, or an encounter that you had with them. This person is really just a free spirit, you know, with the Three of Wands that follows that up. And maybe it's hard for somebody to comprehend that somebody would definitely be on their merry way to, maybe you didn't join them, maybe you didn't go, maybe the way that this person lives their life, it brings some sort of healing to where you want to go too. Ten of Pentacles is behind that. I think somebody here will travel the world with somebody else in due time. There is a lot of mystical magic behind here. Definitely, you know, if somebody lost a child out here, I do want to say I'm very sorry, and I send you a lot of love. It feels like as you grieve that, you sow seeds, you know, as a father, what you stand for. You embrace new and change. All right, guys. That is what I have for tonight's collective read. I don't feel like there's much else in there. I'm going to get an angel number. Thank you all for watching and being here. What's up, Greg? What's up, Constance? I love you guys. I'm going to go cook some... They're taco cheeseburgers, actually, that we found online that the kids and I are going to go cut up some vegetables and make, and get some homemade ground beef out there. We had a good friend butcher a few cows. And they were absolutely delicious. That felt very forced. I'm going to just stop right there. 666, reflect. Several unexpected developments will enter your life and impact how you feel. This is a chance to reevaluate your identity. You need a mental shift towards greater optimism, self-assurance, and trust. Put your faith in your gut and your inner voice. Pay attention to your feelings and use them to help you become a better person. Alright, angel number for the collective. May the intention for this read always be for the highest good of all. Anybody seeing this message. If you guys resonate or like my style of reading, you can reach out to me at angeldynasty33@gmail.com. It's pinned in the bottom of the chat. 1414, light up. Mood swings, respect, family constructive outlook, and quality. Focus on your needs, desires, and hobbies. Your spirit guides are saying everything is more accessible with a light attitude. You will be blessed with new opportunities, a new friend, or addition to the family. Good vibes will speed up the progress. 141455 is talking about going through a change. I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Please share the messages if you feel guided. I'm hoping to go live tomorrow as well before the weekend starts. Ringo's got a rodeo. We've got a lot of things going on, and it's fair weekend here, so I know things have been slow on the channel, but we're in the process of moving and getting a bunch of other things done. So thank you for hanging out. If you guys do want a personal reading, I offer many types as far as monetary aspects or as far as minutes. I do energy cleansing, Reiki, weave light. I will teach you how to do this within that session as well. If you are interested, just email me and let me know. I always pray for the highest good and those that with the truest intentions to learn, and those that are on my divine path that would connect with me and reach out. I thank you guys so much. I love you. I hope you're all well. Teresa, I haven't forgot about you, and Courtney, Pluto. So when I do my next question and live read, I'll get you girls on there. If that is something that you guys like when I do that, let me know as well. I love you so much. Yeah, real change coming soon. I feel that, man. What's up, Dean? I was thinking of a B.B. King song right now. The thrill is gone. But that's not B.B. King. Who sings The Thrill Is Gone? Is that Ozzy Osbourne? No, I'm botching this up. You like that I'm in a camper right now? Thanks. And nothing wrong. This is a pop-up camper. Not only just a pop-up, but it has a slide out. This thing's tricked out. It's got a full shower, bathtub. This thing's freaking awesome. Thanks. Gotta go. See you, dude. Kisses. Bye.